Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my survival series. Where we last left things off, we'd actually made ourselves this wonderful super hoe for, I guess, all of our hoeing needs. We also managed to make ourselves a silo next to our barn, as you can see here. And like I said in the last episode, I'm pretty happy with it and how it turned out. Not the biggest fan of the roof right now, but it works for what we have planned. And as you can see behind me, I have added in a water elevator and a drop chute going down to our little zombie spawner because I got sick of taking the railway down and back up over and over and over. So we've got ourselves a water elevator now, which goes all the way up to the top. And as you can see, there isn't much up here. I think we will decorate this later in today's episode. But we got our water elevator up and we got our drop chute going all the way back down there. Now, what I've been doing down there is actually, believe it or not, killing zombies, but not for the reason you may think. I've been trying to gather potatoes and carrots from them because we are going to be doing some farming today. I've also been trying to grow a few of them up here, but as you can see, they're not all completely grown. They're taking a while, but I'm not going to let that discourage me. See, this guy just grew up a little bit. We just need the rest to grow up all the way. So I'm going to harvest these for a little bit, and then we're going to jump right into a time lapse. And just like that, we have a nice field full of crops. Now, one thing that's missing that I want to include with you guys was actually a scarecrow. And I think I'm going to put him right here. Now, this might be a little tricky to do, but I believe we can pull it off together. Let's see. Trapdoor there. I'm unfortunately going to have to break one of these. I know, it's sad, but it's for the aesthetics of our farm here. And last but not least, a carved pumpkin. Oops. Good thing we got plenty of seeds. And just like that, if we step back for a second, he's kind of floating, but that's why I put the trapdoor beneath, so he'd kind of look like he's connected. But we've got ourselves a scarecrow in our field. Something else I thought would be pretty good right here is kind of to build up a retaining wall next to these crops, because obviously the soil's gotten soft because they need to plant the crops, and we don't want any of those falling into our river. So I'm going to build this up really quick. There we go. We got it all built up. Let's step back for a quick second and admire our handiwork. Uh-oh, we missed a spot. There we go, all nice and fixed. I think this turned out pretty good. Yeah, I think this turned out really well. And so the next thing we're going to do is actually create a nice little pathway down to our bubble vader and drop chute to the mob farm. So we're over here at our drop chute and bubble vader, and I've got all the resources needed to decorate it. Our only problem right now is it's a little cramped and some area needs to be cleared out. Now I've got just the thing for that all the way down here. If we come over here and push this button and then head on back up, we will see once we get to the top that The landscape is now magically less claustrophobic and more open, perfect for what we need to do. Now, what I was thinking about doing was actually building a gazebo of sorts around this thing, mostly just because I think it would look pretty nice given the kind of openness we have going around here. I think that it would be kind of nice to have this place sort of open and being able to look up and see the sky and whatnot out of it. So, wrong trapdoor. That is what I'm going to be working on right now. Now, something I thought that would be kind of nice is obviously we want this covered, but we also want to be able to see up the sky through it. So I thought oak trapdoors would be a pretty good solution for that because as you can see, there are holes in it and we get a lot of skylight coming through it. So I thought that would be a pretty good solution for what we have going on here. Oops. And overall, I'm pretty happy with how it looks so far. And I'm curious, what do you guys think? Do you think this looks nice? What would you guys do different if you were to build something like this? What would you do? I know my build right now, obviously it's not perfect. It kind of comes off a little flat, but that's just because I'm not the best at like building domes or whatnot. But I'm still trying to learn. So I hope that this comes across okay for you guys. I might tweak it here and there depending on how I feel, but overall, I'm pretty happy with the aesthetic that it gives off. The next thing we want to work on is actually a staircase going down here. Now, because the thing is so big, we are going to have to like push the land back here just a bit, but I'm willing to make that work because I think this is going to be really good. So I've got the stairs pushed back a little bit now so we can begin filling them in. And speaking of stairs, I did change the stairs right here into slabs just to try and give it more of that round appearance. You know, round in a game full of blocks and squares. I think it works though. So what I'm going to do right now is mess up on placing stairs. No, what I'm going to do is actually fill this staircase in and do what I generally do when I want to create. I'm going to mess up again. But that's okay. Mistakes are good because we can learn from them. What I'm going to do is actually fill in this entire staircase because that's how I kind of create the patterns that I work with. I fill in the whole thing and then I grab a couple other blocks that I think would be good to fit in. And then I kind of just look and figure where would that be good. And I take said blocks away and try and, well, I try to create non-patterns. So as you can see here, there's a line going up. We don't necessarily want that. So we are actually going to fill this one back in with the tile deep slate. But as you can see, what I like to do is kind of just toss in some random blocks, in this case stairs, just here and there to try and create a pattern, create more detail to this thing, make it seem just a little bit more used. So I'm going to work on that a little bit more. Sleep before any creepers decide to blow any of this up. And then I'll show you what I've created. It's time to show you what I've created. Ta-da! What do you guys think? I know it's nothing grand, nothing special. It kind of looks like an Oreo. But I think the nice white calcite contrasts very well with the darker grays of the deep slate. And overall, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I know it doesn't quite match the gazebo here, but I still think it looks nice. I think it looks really nice. It's kind of making me hungry after making that Oreo comment. That's all I'm going to be able to think about when I see this now. Anyways, on to our next adventure. And that actually involves these guys and this little block that they call home. Because what I want to do for the next part of today's episode is actually create a bee farm. Now, I know one's in there already, but I'd prefer more. Where did you come from? How did you get all the way from over there to here? Jeez. But yeah, I'm going to wait for more of these guys to actually come into their home. Then I will use my Silk Touch pick and actually collect a few of them. So once they're ready, I'll collect them and I'll go on trying to find more and see if I can get, I'm hoping for about 5 or 6. And then after that, we'll create a bee farm. All right, all the bees are in there now. Oop. So all we have to do is collect this. There we go. Got our first bee nest. Now we just need to go out and collect a few more. Thankfully, I know where a couple are, so this was number 1. That's number 2. This is a clean inventory. That's 3. We're halfway there. Number 4. Number 5. Ooh, what does that mean? Hey, okay, so that one had 3. The rest of these don't. I know at the very least some have 2, maybe 1. But that was the first one with 3. Now I just need to get beehive number 6. And there she is. Beautiful beehive number 6. And she's all mine. There we go. We have collected all 6 of our bee nests. Now we can create our bee farm. And I've elected to put this bee farm in the same general vicinity as our barn and our silo. Now I've already flattened a little bit of it in the area over here. This is where we are going to be putting our bee apiary. I hope I pronounced that right. Let me know if I didn't. But this is where we are going to be putting it. I've already got all the resources ready. So the next thing we need to do is just build it up. And there we go. Our bee apiary. I still can't pronounce it. It is done. Now, as you can see, I did add a set of double doors just to make sure none of these bees escaped. And for now, all I have in here is bottles to, well, there we go, to try and make some honey. But I know it's a little cramped, but I think that it actually turned out pretty good. I'm happy with this. Look at all of them. They're so friendly. Can we breed these guys? I know we can, but are they available for breeding right now? It looks like it. Let's get some baby bees in here. Where is it? Oh, there he is. Hello. Oh, you're so tiny, aren't you? And it's getting dark. I gotta get out of here. Bye-bye, bees. Yeah, that, I'm happy with this. I am. Now, one last thing I want to do before this video comes to an end is actually kind of connect that to our pathway that we have going on here. I feel the pathways kind of create sort of a bridge between our places, so that way they're not scattered around here and there, but there is a connection between all of them through these pathways. So that's what I'm going to get started on really quick right here, and I'll be right back when I'm done. And just like that, our pathway is now complete going over to our bee apiary. I think I got it right that time. But as you can see, it does go from stone to dirt. I elected to use the path blocks here just because this is a field, and I thought that it fit rather nicely with the kind of like aesthetic of the field we have here. I feel it's a lot better than having like this sort of stone path running through it. So I think that turned out really well. And the pathway continues all the way up to our bee apiary. And I think that it turned out pretty well. Obviously, it's not a hard texture to follow, but it does bring a lot of life to builds and general areas that way, kind of like our staircases that we have over there that we take up and down. But yes, this I feel just kind of like connects our bee farm over here into this world that we are creating. Now, unfortunately, I am going to have to wrap things up here. I know, the episode's coming to an end. It's always sad when that happens. But on the bright side, I do have another one coming next week as well. I have videos coming every Sunday, so that's something to look forward to. But yes, I am going to have to end today's episode right here. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button. And if you really enjoyed it, please consider subscribing as it helps me out a ton and I really want to try and work at growing this channel. So, with that being said, my name is Metallica. This has been Minecraft. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all had a great day. Bye bye.